Hello and welcome to another video from Midas Touch Toys, Games and Collectibles. And today we are looking at something that is very old, very, very rare and incredibly collectible. We are looking at the 1968 release by IPC Magazines from their very short-lived series of Lion and Valiant Special Extra comics. Now, Lion and Valiant were both stablemate comics. They were produced by IPC Magazine and they run consecutively together on a weekly basis. Valiant run from October 1962 to the 16th of October 1976 before it was merged with Battle Picture Weekly, a stablemate comic, and the Lion comic ran from the 23rd of February 52 to the 18th of March 1974, and 1,156 issues before it finally merged with Valiant. However, prior to that merge, IPC Magazines produced 3 copies of these Lion and Valiant combined special extras. Now these were released usually mid in the year, I think. They only done 3 from 68, 69 and 70, and they were all kind of like an omnibus edition of stories that had appeared in the magazine, in the comics. So whereas they were 2 or 3 pages a week, and I don't know, 5 or 6 issues before the story was finished, this was kind of like an amalgamation of those stories. So they were full stories that were reprinted into this these special extras, and say they were called special extras. They're not annuals, they're not hardcover books. They were still comic style and paper books. Yeah, well, not really a book, a paper comic, if you like, but they were slightly larger than the standard comic, as opposed, they were annual size, if you like. So these were 12 inches, so 30 centimeters by 9 inches, which is 23 centimeters, as opposed to a standard comic, which was a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower, and obviously didn't have as many pages. This is 94 pages in this particular issue. Okay, so this is the 1968 version in front of us, and it says Lion and Valiant Special Extra, 2 shillings and 6pence, which was the cover price. And you've got the Australian, South Africa, Malaysia, New Zealand and Rhodesia and Malta prices there as well. And it says, my name's Captain Hurricane, you better read the stories about me inside, you swabs, or I'll go into a raging fury. And it says, I'm Robot Archie, Lion's famous metal man. Meet me inside too, pals. So that's the front cover. Let's just turn it over to the back. And there's a image or a comic strip entitled Mauser, the Priceless Puss. And it's all about this amazing pussycat. Okay, that is the front and back covers. A very quick look at the spine. You can see there's staples that were holding the comic together, and it is all paper, and they did used to go through slightly, but they're still intact, still holding everything together, which is very good. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to open it up and we're going to go through the contents of this wonderful big special extra. Okay, so I've opened the first page, and the very first story is called Haywire Higgins, and as I say, now these are full comic strip stories. They're not just the ones that will continue in the next issue. So these are like the omnibus edition of these stories that had appeared in either the Lion or the Valiant weekly comic. So there we go, and that brings that to an end after 9 pages. Champion and Champions, and this is all about the record-breaking motorcycle racer known as Mike Howard. So that's a big double-page article on him. And there we've got one of the most famous comic strips from the Valiant, which was Captain Hurricane. And again, it is probably one of the most popular stories of the 60s that ran, and it finishes on page 17. Chuckle Corner, oh, it's a load of funnies. I'd imagine they've also appeared in the comic. Billy Bunter, well, we all know who Billy Bunter is, so this is a 4-page comic strip of Billy Bunter. I think they were just single pages in the comics, but because they were like a comic relief in between the war and the adventure stories. Okay, and then we got Robot Archie, who was a big character in The Lion. And the first 2 pages of that are in nice bright colour, as you can see. And then it goes on into black and white. That's 2, 4, 6, 8 pages that, one full story, which brings it to the end on page 31. And then we've got Crazy Inventions. That's all about inventions that have happened over the course of the 1900s. And we've got Sporting Roundabout, and this is the young set. Cycling is a young man's sport. Football there, soccer there, and rugby. Boxing, cycling again, table tennis, water skiing, track, and football again. Again, cycling, track, football, cricket even, and tennis, of course. And then we come on to the next story, which is the House of Dolmann. And again, this is a 2, 4, 6, 8-page full story, which comes to an end. Then we've got the Flying Falcons, which is all about the Royal Air Force parachute display team. And there's some lovely colour photographs in there, and there's also some black and white ones, and it shows you how they actually do their dive and how they train for it. Then we've got another strip of Billy Bunter, which again is just 2 pages. And then we're on to Zip, Nolan, Highway Patrol. There was another popular comic strip, and that runs for 4 pages. It's a record, so it tells you about records that have been broken over the course of the years. And then we've got a second issue of Captain Hurricane. And again, we've got 2, 4, 6-page story. And then we've got Roar of the Lions, which was the English ice hockey team. And that's a 4-page spread. And then we've got Anzio, which was an action-packed film of a World War II battle. It says, winter 1944 in Italy, the Allied and Nazi Germany armies were at deadlock. No advance could be made against the Nazis' stubborn defence of their still hard Gustav line. A bold stroke was needed to land a striking force behind the German lines. The place chosen for the attack was Anzio, and that's images from the movie. And then we've got another comic strip which is called Paddy Payne, who's a squadron leader. Paddy Payne was one of the top-ranking fighter pilots of World War II. One day he was ordered to report to a combined services headquarters in London. There we go. And that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22 pages till the story comes to an end, and that brings us to the end of the comic. So there we are. That is the end of the very, very rare 1968 Lion and Valiant Omnibus Special Extra comic. So, question you're going to ask is, how well did these do back in the day? Well, these special extras were produced midway through the year. They were kind of like having annuals, which were always produced at the end of the year for the upcoming year. And they produced these special extras in the middle of the year, so that you had something else to look forward to. They were short-lived. They only ran for 3 seasons, so it was 68, 69 and 70 before they abandoned them, probably due to low sales, I would imagine. The 68 one, I think, was the first one. I don't know if it was the most popular. Someone told me that the 69 one was the most popular one that had sold the most copies. I don't know. I haven't confirmed that, and I don't know how many of these copies were produced. They were obviously mass produced for the UK market, but I don't know the numbers. But I'm guessing that they pulled the plug after the 1971 because the sales were low, and so they decided not to do any after that. And then also a few years later, 74, Lion and Valiant actually merged as one comic. And then Valiant went on till 1988 until it merged with the revamped or the reissued Eagle comic. So, but at the time, 68, I would imagine it would done fairly well. I say it done well enough for them to do another one the following year. So, yeah, I would say it was fairly popular. But being that it's a paper comic, it's not an annual. So annuals have more of a chance of surviving longevity, whereas the paper comics didn't. So I don't believe that there's many of these that have survived the test of time. It is a very, very rare comic. So let's move forward to 2025, which is where we are today. So we're moving forward 57 years. Do these come up very often on the platforms? And the answer to that is no. I mean, I look back trying to find one of these that have been on the platform over the last 3 years, and I couldn't find one. I did find a 69, I did find a 70, but I could not find any 68 ones. There was quite a few images of them that have been around at some point, but they go back too far for you to find on the platform. So no, they don't come up for sale very often these days on the platforms. And if you do happen to find one, I suppose if you wait long enough and look hard enough, you will eventually find one on the platform. Because someone eventually, I'd imagine, who has got one would eventually want to sell it or move it on, or if it's been passed on to someone who doesn't want it, eventually it will be put up for sale. But you may have to wait a long time. So no, they don't come up for sale very often, and I'd imagine you would pay for the nose if you did find one of these. However, we at Midas Touch, we have managed to find this one copy, but we do only have this one copy, I'm afraid. So if Lion and Valiant was your thing, I wouldn't hang around too long because it's only one copy, and it's very rare, so I'd imagine it will go very, very quickly. So, but as of today, right now, it is available to purchase on the Midas Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website where you'll be able to find this and many, many other vintage comics and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody. And I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there's something in particular you're looking for, something old that you've never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to do for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be the item you've been looking for. Okay, that's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful Lion and Valiant special extra comic from 1968. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.